Hey there, mamas! So today we're going to be doing cloth napkins, sewn two different ways, but both with a mitered edge. They're both pretty simple, but one is more the formal napkin style, and one is more you could use it for like handkerchiefs or informal napkins. They're both one layer. I don't have any nice linens or anything like that, so I'm just using scraps that I already have while I was waiting for more fabrics to come. This is just a really thin, soft quilting cotton. It's the same one that I used for the edge of the shopping bag. And I've just cut a small square. This is more like handkerchief size. I've cut a 12 by 12 inch square, but you can do them any size. I think the standard for cloth napkins is like 16, 18, or 20. So for this style, it's the simpler of the two. It's a little less formal. It doesn't have all the steps. You're gonna take your edge, and you're going to take your iron, and you're going to fold it over once, and then you're going to fold it over again at each side. So it's just over once, and then over again, and then you iron it to get your crease, because you're going to use that crease for a guide even before you sew. And then the next step for this one is you're going to take this corner here, and there's a little 2 by 2 square because of the ironing, and you're going to cut with your scissors right across the diagonal of that 2 by 2 square on all four corners. So just right across. Doesn't have to be totally precise, but you know, to make a little cut off triangle end there. So now you've got all your four of your little corners off. You can throw away those scraps. And now you're going to take your corner here, and you're going to fold the first side down. Then you're going to fold this corner here down so that it's all the way, the little squares all the way showing. Or at least most of the way. And then you're going to fold that other crease in until those little corners line up. And you might want to iron it again to get a really nice crisp edge there. But it all depends on how formal you want these to be. If you're using them just for like casual napkins or unpaper towels or something like that, then just having that nice little mitered edge is really significant by itself. And then you just clip each corner, get it ready to do the next. So now you've got all four of your corners clipped, and you are just going to sew a straight stitch all the way around, close to the inner edge of that, holding it all down. And that's it. So there's your nice little diagonal corner. It's not as formal as some of the formal linens, but it works great for things like handkerchiefs and less formal napkins. But, you know, just one layer, super simple. Now let's do the fancier style with the flannel. And for flannel, you know, obviously this is great for a kid's print. If you have some, you know, nursery prints or something like that, you could do really cute kids' napkins this way. For the more formal style, you could do this, you know, with a nicer press if you're using like a linen, but I'm just going to be doing sort of a thicker fabric, a flannel. And this would be great for unpaper towels, but it's a little nicer of an edge. So for this one, you've got the inside ironed in. I've got mine about a little less than a 1/2 inch, and then I have it folded again about 3/4 of an inch. But, you know, you could do it, if you're using like linen, you could do like a 1/4 inch and 3/4 of an inch or something like that. You don't have to have it as thick, but I needed it for the thicker fabric to get a good fold on it. And then for this, you've got those same creases in there, right? But you're gonna leave this part down. And you're gonna think about it like, if it folds over, you know, you want it to be at that nice triangle right there, right? You want it to be at that edge. So you're gonna fold it around the back. You're gonna make sure everything's lined up really straight. You're gonna line up your angle really straight. You're gonna find that little corner that you can see from your fold line right there. You're gonna take your straight edge or a square of some sort and place it right on that corner, and then also on this straight edge here. And you can mark it, or you can just pin it, or whatever you want to do. Here, I'll just use a little dot just to give an idea. You can use washable, but I don't have one right here. You just, you know, whatever that little line right there is. And then you're gonna sew that corner. Just right along that line that you've drawn. So now you've got your little sewn line across that angle, and you're just gonna cut that fairly close and notch in that corner a little bit so you get a nicer turn. I'm gonna do that to all 4 sides, but I'm just gonna show you on this one right now. And then you're gonna turn it. I like to use a screwdriver, but there's, you know, people use crochet hooks or all sorts of turning tools. And you're just gonna invert that little corner there and poke that corner out. Just push that corner nice and flat. And then you'll see that it, you know, it lays right into that crease where you've got your iron crease. And then you're just gonna sew around the same way as you did with the other napkin, but now you've got this nice finished edge here instead. And you can do it narrower as well, but I think this one looks nicer with a little bit wider. You could probably go as small as 1/2 inch, but I wouldn't go much smaller than that. So let's do the other 3 corners. And then you can press it again, make sure that it's, you know, nice and flat, or you can just go, depending on how, you know, how formal you want it to look. You can use the same corner method for like a 1-layer, like flannel or minky baby blanket. The same corner method would work, so you don't have to use any sort of a binding. It's kind of a general purpose, or for a tablecloth. This is often used in tablecloths as well. This is just kind of a general diagonal corner for any 1-layer fabric finished piece. And then you just sew it down near the edge. And then you would just press it, and you have your nice little reusable cloth napkin, or, you know, whatever you want to use it for. You can use the same method for a lot of things. Same with this one, but it's just got that smaller, sort of open corner. If you wanted to make this one a little more durable, you could do 2 stitches to hold down that edge better. And there's less chances of that edge eventually fraying, if you want to do it that way. It's still pretty simple. You just go around a second time, about halfway between. So we can do that. Make it a little more durable. Some people like that sort of puckered edge, but it isn't going to hold up as well. You could also use this style with like a twin needle or a cover stitch and go over the edge, but you know, you don't need to. Just 1 seam is fine, and 2 seams is, you know, extra durable. There's your little mitered corner handkerchiefs and cloth napkins. Happy sewing!